In 1957, Chevrolet forged a new chapter in the annals of motorsport. The Corvette SS, born of a desire to be America's first true racing machine, to be innovative in design, engineering, and style, to be world-class, and to make the definitive statement that the guys from Chevrolet can package power as well as anybody. The Corvette SS established the pedigree and wrote the prologue to the incredible Corvette racing history that is still very much a work in progress. It said Chevrolet is a force to be reckoned with. And here we are more than 30 years later with a new series, one steeped in that rich racing tradition, one born of the same desires as was the SS, one which celebrates the legacy of Corvette. Corvette is not merely a force to be reckoned with, but the single most awesome showroom stock race car of all time. A machine so awesome, it attracts the top guns of American motorsport.
All of this action will be right on that television screen. Around this course, folks, give them a round of applause. They did a tremendous job.
Thunder in motion. Thunder in motion. Hear it, you can hear the thunder coming through. Feel it, can't you feel the motion taking you away? Bringing on the power of Chevrolet. All the power to meet the challenge that's here today.
During the World Cup races, John, not only for appearance sake, but also for we're waiting for the upper short here. John, I've replayed it already.
Thunder in motion.
No, he takes somebody out here, John. Stop, Angus. Say what? Oh, no, John. A major accident on the front straight further back in the field.
This is the front straight, it is pinball.
Thunder in motion. Hear it, you can hear the thunder coming through. Feel it, can't you feel the motion taking you away? Thunder, thunder, thunder. Thunder, thunder, thunder.
afternoon. I'm Jim Paulson. With me is Mr. John Powell. Now, you take 30 identical Chevy Corvettes. You add $1 million U.S. in prize money. You gather together some of the finest auto racing talent you can find in North America. You come up with the Corvette Challenge in 1988. John, you put this together. You got to be proud.
I'm very pleased, and indeed they're equal. These Corvettes were built equal, they stay equal. We have 15 cars qualifying on the same second. The fastest qualifier, Andy Pilgrim from Frisco, Texas, driving the Princess Casino car. He starts on the third row in sixth place because we invert the top 6 qualifiers. But with 15 young men all on the same second, you're gonna see exciting action.
How are the Canadians going to do here?
They're gonna win.
You know John Powell is excited about this series. Let's find out how the drivers feel about this as well.
I think the future of the Challenge Series is fantastic, or as, you know, as a dream series for young drivers and the Walter Middies in the world who wanted to get a chance to drive a race car.
I guarantee you, if you can get one of these cars around the track quickly, you can get a Trans Am GTO type car around very quickly.
And here's Juan Fangio, the second nephew of the famous Grand Prix star. Juan has chosen the Corvette Challenge to launch his career.
To know what to do on the track with another drivers, to be patient and wait for a good opportunity for passing and everything. I think it's helping a lot in that sense, because all the cars are very, very equal, and you have always somebody with you, right?
Any showroom stock racing series is very difficult to control from the point of view of equality. You have to make sure that all the cars are born equal, and you have to make sure all the cars stay equal. In the Corvette Challenge, we have faced that problem, and what you have behind me is the solution to true equality. It's called GM CAMS, a computer-based diagnostic network. Each Challenge Corvette is inspected by Corvette development engineer Mike Dupree. He installs specially marked electronic engine parts. The car is verified for all electronic engine management system parameters visible on this screen. Dupree seals key components with light-sensitive paint. Utilizing General Motors' engineering data acquisition system in a joint venture with a Canadian company, this telescoping radio antenna on the Challenge mothership and this mobile Chevy van are the invisible hands of technician Craig Palmer. Palmer can actually see on this computer screen what's going on under the hood of a Challenge Corvette on the track right now. In showroom stock racing, the cars are supposed to be equal. In the Corvette Challenge, we guarantee it.
And the Corvette Challenge ready to fly. Cars moving out on the pace lap right now, John. The Fast 6 inverted. Mark Walikachuk, Scott Legacy end up in the front row. Stu Hayner, Bobby Carradine, the second row. Our fast man, Robin Buck and Andy Pilgrim back in that third row. And a very impressive field here, John. A lot of big names.
Delighted to see Robin Buck actually qualifying a thousandth of a second behind Andy Pilgrim to sit on the third row.
Really amazed to see Juan Fangio Jr. That far back on this grid lineup. And, of course, some great names in here. Our one female, Robin Dallenbach, will take part today.
Peter Lockhart is beside Johnny Rutherford. Pete shouldn't be that far back. He had trouble in qualifying.
Got Olympic athlete Bruce Jenner in here, John. The Archer brothers on hand. Another Canadian, Jack Bockstrom. They look in pretty good order coming through corner 10. I think we're ready for a green flag here, John.
I think we're going to get it. Yes, it's a heartbeat of American start. Scott Legacy has got the early lead down into corner 1. Very fast guy from Florida.
Well, he was fifth fastest in the qualifying rounds, John, but I think he wanted to maybe be up in that front row. He got a nice jump in the field and actually pretty good order. Look at that, 3 in a row coming through corner 1 on that start.
Scott looks awfully strong here, and followed by Walikachuk and Carradine on the inside. This is impossible. No!
Almost out of, oh no, he takes somebody out here, John.
Scott Legacy into the wall. Carradine continues. Walikachuk takes the lead. Scott, the spirit of St. Augustine, is not happy.
Isn't that a shame? He had a beautiful start here. Bobby Carradine literally crashing into him. There he is, trying to get back on the course. He's still going a little astray, and we're back to the leaders here.
Carradine, the never-ending radical dude, the nerd in second place, threatening Walikachuk, and Scott Legacy all the way from first to last.
Well, no question that Waukesha has now taken charge here, but how long will that last? They have formed up into a beautiful line here now, John, and yet further back in the field, some beautiful fights continue.
Corvette train, boy, these cars are close to 135 miles an hour at the end of the straight as they go up the last hill along the Andretti straightaway, and already Carradine moving on the outside with Waukesha into corner 8.
Well, let's hope we don't run into the same sort of incident that Bobby had experienced earlier. A little bobble there as they come through this corner, John. Lap 1 is just about down. They now approach corner 10 in order as they head back to the start-finish line, down the front straight.
This is tight action, and Carradine is wild. Here he goes, down into corner 1, makes a move inside Waukesha.
No, without success. Waukesha holds him off beautifully. I wouldn't say blocking at this. Oh, no, John! A major incident on the front straight further back in the field.
This is the front straight. It is Pinball Alley. There are cars all over the place. And it looks like Lou Gelati, Bruce Jenner, Jack Bockstrom, Mike Engelash. Boy, we've got cars all over the place. Gelati out of the race.
Smoke pours out of the Gelati Corvette. There are papers from some of the pit crew all over the track, John. Black flag is out. We're going to stop this event. Tell you what, let's take a moment here to kind of sort things out in this incident on the front straight. We will be back in a moment from Mosport with more of the Corvette Challenge. Challenge, the cleanup continues, John. A nasty incident there rather early in the start of this event.
Fortunately, Jim, no one has been hurt, although the pit wall has been moved back, and you can see that the timing lights have to be replaced. Boy, if you're going to crash, pick a Corvette.
Well, what we'll do here, John, is try to reform this field. The restart will be single file, so they're just coming around to a lineup here now, John.
Let's hear from two of the drivers who were involved in that accident.
Nothing you can do, nothing I could do. I tried to get out of their way, too. Yeah. I saw a great car coming. I figured it must have been you.
Yeah, well, there was a hole there, and so I just kept motoring, and then all of a sudden, back across.
Well, that's what happened. The guy came across on me.
Yeah.
Just watching Jack Bockstrom there, number 6, John. He does T-bone Bruce Jenner. What a shame. A couple of innocents really involved in this incident.
I think Bockstrom was pushed. Let's highlight the bottom left view of your screen. Gelati between Cooper and Engelash, pushed or pulled into the wall. Now he slides down the track. Engelash gets sideways. Wow, Archer T-bones Engelash right in the middle. Now Jenner collects Engelash. Jenner spins around. Here comes the innocent, Jack Bockstrom. Tony Piercosta is also looking for a way through, avoids Engelash, tags Bockstrom, and wow, Bockstrom right into Jenner's door.
Meanwhile, Lou Gelati's car sitting against the wall, and here are his thoughts on the incident.
I passed a guy on the inside here, and either he didn't like it or somebody behind him didn't like it, and they spun me right around, and I just all the way down the wall. Not a real good situation. That was the second time I was hit this lap. Turn 5 was the first time. Not a real good situation. Chevrolet's been great to us, and the drivers need to have more respect for Chevrolet.
Lou really didn't have a chance, John. Nailed from the front and the rear, spun him right around. Now let's get back to the restart.
We promised you Heartbeat of America action, Chevy Thunder, single file restart, Jim. Will it be as exciting?
You betcha. There goes the green flag one more time. Waukesha does lead the field. It'll be a fight into corner 1, John.
They explode through the cement dust from that accident. Robin Buck is currently 6th.
Nice run. Hayner, mind you, hangs in 2nd overall, and we join in car.
Robin Buck inside his Sony-sponsored car, right behind Pilgrim.
Now we look at them forming up very nicely here. This race is now back at full race tempo. Speeds now, John. We're getting up around 100, I guess, by now.
110 miles an hour out of the bottom of 2, and then 40 miles an hour down to 5A, and it's Waukesha from Carradine. Carradine has been wild here, and he's hanging on to 2nd place, but he must make a move quickly. Carradine has made up his mind he must take the lead because he wants to help Hayner win this race.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah, here are team members. Obviously, they're going to do what they can, John, to help each other out front here and catch this leader. Look at this, an attempted pass now. It'll work.
Cunningham passes Buck, and there it goes. Robin Buck drops a position, and Carradine all over Waukesha into corner 8. Outside, inside. Jim, will he take it?
He is trying everything that he can possibly do. He certainly is not going to let that race leader get away. Meanwhile, we got some beautiful battles shaping up just behind these two on front, John. And this has not been resolved yet. We're back in the front straight. Whoa! Waukesha almost a little sideways. Boots up a little dirt there, and then gets under control again into corner 1, John.
Carradine knocks on the door through corner 1 again, but they have to be very careful. In corner 1 and 2, the speeds are over 100 miles an hour. Carradine right on the tail of Wallachachuk as they come out of corner 2. He does it. 2 wheels off inside Wallachachuk.
Oh, don't lose it here, Bobby. Almost. he did not want to give up that line, obviously. Johnny tried to hold it on the inside, but Wallachachuk flew by him.
We're inside Robin Buck's car. He's got the best view of the race from inside his Sony-sponsored car.
Seems a little more safe back here, John.
Oh, Carradine on the grass and up through 5A.
My goodness, right across the track he goes, wham, through the gravel, into the guardrail, John. 12, 14 Corvettes blow by him. Carradine has had a strange day. Let's look at some of this race with Bobby Carradine again. Let's go back to lap 2, John. I don't know what's happening with Bobby.
This is an inside move, and he makes it past Wallachachuk. He can't possibly make it, and Legacy is his brakes. And bang, the Spirit of St. Augustine meets the wall.
Well, one
now,
more
he
time,
tries
John.
it again.
Yeah, lap 5.
Sliding 110 miles an hour out of the bottom of corner 2. I don't know how Carradine is keeping his Corvette on the track. This is Kung Fu Corvette.
I tell you, and there's Bobby, I don't know. Does the nerd term apply now, John? He's been having a bad day at Mosport.
You're right, Jim. Carradine's car is damaged, but he keeps on trucking. His Corvette still running in the race. Wallachachuk leads from Stu Hainer, followed by Andy Pilgrim.
Andy, our fastest in qualifying. Let's tune in his race philosophy here.
Got to stay calm and stay right up with the guys and just try and protect your position from behind and make a move up front when somebody makes a mistake. It's a real race series in the sense that most of the drivers are good enough not to make mistakes very often, and the cars are close enough that it's really close. So you've just got to dog somebody for lap after lap, and when they make a mistake, be right there, ready to take advantage of it. I've learned so much this year. It's incredible.
Really close. John Powell, you told us this would be exciting. I'll tell you, this is incredible. It's something.
Jim, it's also quite incredible when you consider that each of these Corvettes rolled out of a dealer's showroom. A Chevrolet Corvette fitted with safety equipment for racing and standard Eagle Goodyear Gatorback tires. There goes Stu Hainer, second place. And you'll notice how very disciplined these drivers have to be. They can't afford to bobble. They don't want to overheat the tires. They have to drive the cars so smoothly, and that takes a lot of discipline.
And in nice condition, coming out of corner 10 down the front straight, they complete the 8th lap. Wallachachuk the leader, Hainer in second, Pilgrim, Cunningham, then Tommy Archer follow. We'll be back after this break with more of the Corvette Challenge on CTV's Wide World of Sports. In the 9th lap of the Corvette Challenge, I'm Jim Paulson with John Powell, and our race leaders remain the same at this point, John.
You know, the spectators are having a lot of fun. Over half distance through this race, and now as the race takes shape, we're looking for some spectacular people coming up through the field. Scott Legacy, Pete Lockhart, 2 drivers right at the back.
Oh, Sean goes a little astray there, just gets up a little bit of dirt on the right-hand side, but he's back in control, John, back in the race.
Sean Hendricks is from Piedmont, South Carolina. They call him the Pumpkin Town Flash. And there goes Legacy.
Oh.
We call him the Spirit of St. Augustine, the Pumpkin Town Flash off the track. Legacy's doing a great job.
No question. I think the spectators are really watching the fight back by number 17, but some of this other passing has got to be exciting to keep an eye on too, John.
Here comes Lockhart, drafting up the straight, popping out beside Hendricks, takes Hendricks down into corner 8.
Hey, good to see Peter Lockhart getting in a nice run here in Canada one more time in this Corvette Challenge. He'll try to reel in more as they come back through corner 10 into the front straight again, John.
And Hendricks is in the pits.
Look at this. Legacy boots up some dust up on the curbing in the front straight, and he is really fighting to get back in the lead here, John.
Hendricks makes the pit stop. There's something wrong with his car. Is it the left side? No, it must be the right side, Jim.
I think we found a flat tire, John. They'll try to service that immediately. Let's face it, again, we're looking at showroom stock racing. They'd experience the same problems you and I would on the highway.
5 nuts to change, Jim. This is a costly pit stop. It's going to put Hendricks right out of the action.
Here's Sean Hendricks with some comparisons.
There's not a whole lot of difference. The cars have a different computer chip in them and straight exhaust. They put out probably 35 more horsepower than the one off the showroom put out. The Corvettes are the closest thing to a race car that you could buy in showroom stock racing.
Well, nice smooth pit stop. He's back in the battle, and they're running in this $1 million Corvette Challenge, and more action, John.
Lockhart, side by side, Mark Boehm through corner 8. Lockhart, the Iron Man here, takes corner 9 away from Bean and into 10. Lockhart's going to put his SO Protect car ahead all the way through corners 1 and 2.
What a joy to have Peter Lockhart back fighting his way up through this Corvette field. And oh, more action in the pits with Mike Engelage. He stopped.
The Panther Racing car, Engelage's car, was involved in that lap 1 red flag incident, out of the race. That's costly for him. $1 million in prize money for 10 races, and Engelage is finishing out of the money today.
Meanwhile, Mark Wollekachuk, of course, still very handily our race leader, and he is moving at Mosport now. Looks a little bumpy in spots there, but oh, he's in control, John.
It's very important to get to the apex or the clipping point of every corner, and these drivers are trying to use every part of the racetrack. There's Carradine, way back down the field now. It's been a rough race for Carradine. You can't afford to lose discipline.
Oh, no, looking down at corner 5, a yellow flag coming out here, John. Something has happened back here.
Something has happened. Smith is driving up the track on the left-hand side of the Andretti straightaway very slowly. His car is hurt.
Bobby Carradine has gone astray. We didn't see him at all there. Let's go back here to corner 5, John. Have a look in the upper left-hand side. Let's see what happens here.
Carradine tries to go around Smith. They touch. Smith goes into the grass. Carradine into the guardrail.
Well, Carradine gone. There's RK. He's made it back to pit road, John. But
Smith is out for the day. That's it for RK Smith, our 1985 Canadian driving champion.
doesn't affect these front runners, though. I tell you, Wollekachuk leads Hayner and Pilgrim, and a great fight out front here, John.
This is the run to the flag now. Hayner is second in the championship, needs to win to gain the lead in the championship.
13 laps down. Wollekachuk leading Hayner, Pilgrim, then Cunningham and Archer. Oh, this is going to be a wild finish. We'll be back with that right after this. Moments of the $1 million Corvette Challenge in '88 at Mosport.
Jim, this is the red bow tie brigade. Equalized showroom stock Corvettes, and we have Stu Hayner trying to get by Mark Wollekachuk. Andy Pilgrim trying to get by them both because there's $10,000 to win at Mosport this afternoon. There's $1 million in total prize money for the 10-race series. $100,000 is on Stu Hayner's mind. That's the first prize for the Corvette Challenge Championship. Hayner currently second to Juan Fangio II, who is leading the championship at this moment.
You know, I would guess, John, that Wollekachuk certainly is still our leader, but look at the way Hayner sort of bobs back and forth. You used to race these cars. What's happening? It looks like he's trying to find a pass area.
It's the draft.
Oh!
Hayner inside Wollekachuk, and then Wollekachuk slams the door shut as they go side by side through corner 8.
Hold it, John. I think he's got him here. I think he's got him.
Wollekachuk hangs on through 9, takes it away through corner 10. Boy, it's tough to pass in the Corvette Challenge, and there is a lot of money at stake. Here's what Peter Lockhart has to say about how tough it really is.
Passing at this track is not going to be all that easy, especially in the Corvette Challenge race. The cars are so equal that generally the best way to get by someone is under braking. Now, if we look around the track, there are a number of places where we can do that. One is at the top of corner 2 on the inside. It's a bold move, and you come up on the left side where you'd normally be on the right side of the track, and you dive in at the top. The same at corner 3, where you dive in on the inside, where everyone is getting to the left side of the track so they can start their turn. You just go blasting right in and outbrake them into corner 3. You have to start that, set up for that particular maneuver at the top of 2. If you're right on someone's tail, you have to back off a little bit, let them get through, start down through 2, and then you really hot-foot it through 2, keep your momentum up, and just head straight for the exit, or I should say the entrance of corner 3. And if you're lucky and you happen to be just getting a little bit better exit out of corner 5B, you may be able to draft up the back straight and at the final moment dive into corner 8 on the right-hand side while the other party gets on the brakes.
Great comments out of Peter, but I don't think he quite expected to have these 2-3 cars side by side here today, John. Look at this one more time.
Hayner inside Wollekachuk, tries to make it stick, doesn't succeed. Wollekachuk through 10, a little slow, and Hayner right behind him. Perfectly set up as they go down to corner 1. Is this the time that Hayner will make his move?
You know, I think Wollekachuk is getting a little shaken. He got him! He got him, John, in corner 1.
Hayner puts it away, takes the lead in this $1 million Corvette Challenge, and Wollekachuk has already been disadvantaged. He's given up a little bit of speed, and Pilgrim is closing right up behind Walikachuk. We're looking for a very close finish here.
How badly shaken up is Mark Walikachuk? I wonder now, John, if Pilgrim is not going to get by as well. He's right up on him here.
The action is this close that perhaps you don't want to lead the last lap, because there's always a chance that Walikachuk or Pilgrim could draft by Hayner and take the lead at the end. And it's on the last lap. Hayner, a useful heartbeat or so away from Walikachuk as they go up the straight, followed by Pilgrim, and then Cunningham and Archer. And boy, there's not more than a second over these 5 cars as they go up the straight. Hayner has got a nice cushion.
Unbelievable bit of race strategy, John, of course, with Walikachuk leading most of the way, pretty well all the laps in this race. And then Hayner
Pilgrim
gets
inside Walikachuk, tries to make it stick. This is the last lap, 3 corners to go. He doesn't make it.
Okay, Pilgrim does not get by. We knew he was going to, he may try it again here, John.
There's no joy in Mudville. Walikachuk is struck out, and Hayner takes the flag.
Checkered flag. It will be Pilgrim third. Walikachuk does get second. All those points and that cash money, very important right here, John.
The final standings, Stu Hayner, followed by Mark Walikachuk, and Frisco, Texas, Andy Pilgrim. Peter Cunningham and Tommy Archer round out the top 5.
I knew I was handling the turn. You deserved it. Great job.
The Great Corvette Challenge race today. 3 drivers, outstanding action. Mark Walikachuk smiling now, very disappointed.
I was holding off as much as I can, and Stewart came on pretty strong. You know, just come on a little bit, and I was driving probably about as best as I could, but he just come on strong in some of the fast stuff. And just could have maybe held him off in 1. I held him off over in 7 and 8, a couple laps before that, but I don't squeeze him a little bit, but I wasn't going to make it so tough we both end up out of the race. There was too much of that today.
Well, I don't think there can be a better series. You've got 20 of the top drivers in the country, a lot of people unknown, and you got equal cars. You've got Chevrolet doing the very best job they can and making the cars equal. And I just don't think you can get a better series. I kind of wish that we would get more big names in to kind of give it a little bit more strength.
That award goes to Stuart Hayner. Would you welcome Stuart?
And California's Stu Hayner wins his first Corvette Challenge and takes the points championship lead. 1 race to go at St. Petersburg, Florida. For Jim Paulson, I'm John Powell. Good afternoon.
ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. The short, tight, temporary road course here at the Meadowlands Sports Complex is playing host to round number 6 of the SCCA Corvette Challenge Series. Hi, I'm Gary Lee alongside IndyCar driver Derek Daly. And Derek, the Corvette Challenge Series is really an outgrowth of showroom stock competition.
It really is, Gary. Last year, the Corvettes won every round of the SCCA Showroom Stock Series, and there were really complaints that it was a bit unfair, maybe. So now in '88, they have a series all of their own. They use identically prepared Corvettes, and now I think it puts a premium very much on the driver.
And speaking of the drivers, they're coming from all areas of motorsports competition. There's Juan Manuel Fangio, who is from the ARS series. And there's Mark Dismore, a former national go-kart champion that you've seen on ESPN on Thursday Night Thunder and a USAC Midget.
That's right. We have Johnny Rutherford from the world of IndyCar racing. We have people like Tom Kendall, a reigning GTU champion. And we have Andy Pilgrim, who's a showroom stock champion.
So once again, a very tight, very short temporary road course. We have up to 50 entries per race, and that means lots of traffic on a very tight course at the Meadowlands. Overcast skies, we have 76 degrees, gusty winds. That could play a factor. The chance of rain, 40%, rather high humidity. 37 Corvettes set to go now. We're about to turn them loose on, Derek, a very, very tight and very narrow racetrack.
It really is. It'll be very difficult for these cars to pass because they're so even with their horsepower and their handling characteristics.
First row is Morissette and Tommy Archer. The second row will have Andy Pilgrim and Juan Manuel Fangio. In row 3, Doc Bundy and Tom Kendall. Row 4, Mark Bem and Stuart Hayner. In the 5th row, Mark Walikachuk, Peter Lockhart, And we invert the fastest 6. So actually, the guy that's the fastest qualifier starts in the 6th position.
A very orderly start. We see the first 2 rows move away together. They're on the way for the first turn, and we see Boris Said, in fact, does take the lead from number 34, Tommy Archer.
Archer slides just a bit. Remember, these are identically prepared race cars. They are very, very stock.
They really are. You see Juan Manuel Fangio now in 4th place. He's a man to watch here. He's probably one of the best kept secrets in racing at the moment, still waiting for his major break into big-time racing.
Well, since these cars are identically prepared, it is advantageous to start up front. That means to qualify well. But remember, again, the fastest 6 drivers are inverted. And that makes a bit of a challenge right there for those guys.
That's right. We see a big traffic jam beside the sliding Boris Said. We saw him slide.
2 cars together right there.
In fact, that's Bruce Jenner. Jenner was on the outside, trying to take the inside line for that turn. Jenner is now running very slowly. We see him. Doesn't look as if he has any
damage in the race car, but
he got quite a sharp bump. Maybe he knocked some electrical system out of the car, but Jenner has no car. I think he's maybe out of the race for the afternoon.
Said continues to lead in car 95. The red vet of Tommy Archer rides in 2nd. A wide berth right there. Again, a very, very narrow racetrack. It appears to get a little slick out there.
That's right. Already we've seen cars slide sideways exiting corners. We've seen Tommy Archer slide up at the first turn, but a very tightly bunched race here in the opening lap of this Corvette Challenge.
Well, Fangio right now runs in 3rd, and Juan Manuel Fangio is the only multiple winner in this series. He won at Riverside on June the 12th, and a week later came back and won again at Portland.
We see quite a traffic jam down on the infield section here, which is the tightest section of this course. Now, we may get a replay to show what happened to Bruce Jenner. In fact, here we are. Jenner is in the white car on the outside. He tries to take the inside line. Bang, makes contact there with number 66, who's Charles Bislin, and Jenner is out of the race.
This Corvette Challenge is brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. Tommy Archer now leads. We'll be right back at the Meadowlands. Stay with us. Tommy Archer continues to lead in the red vet. He was victorious at Sears Point. A bit of daylight between first and second. Looks like the battle could shape up shortly over second position.
Fangio running 3rd at the moment, still keeping a good eye on what's happening. These people really, they haven't pulled away. We see Doc Bundy currently in 5th place, leading the 2nd gaggle of cars. But things very much on an even keel here, as this Corvette Challenge was designed to be. Very much the cars are the same, the drivers have to be the difference of who wins and who doesn't.
So realistically, again, it's a matter of driving up to one's potential and the car's potential.
It really is, which makes practice and qualifying, of course, so important. You cannot have a bad practice session, start at the back, and hope to ever win one of these races.
Doc Bundy and Mark Walikachuk in 6th position, riding nose to tail around this racetrack.
This is very much a race of their own. The first 4 have pulled out about 10 car lengths. We see Tom Kendall, who is in fact our fastest qualifier, now in 7th position. So Tom Kendall, I'm sure, is beginning to work out what line he would like to take to jump ahead of those 2 cars and get to that leading pack.
Well, I think the quick qualifier, the inverted start, he started 6th, or actually lost 1 position on the racetrack during the competition.
That's right. I think that's to Walikachuk. But I think Kendall is a very experienced driver, current GTU champion, as we said in the Open. So I think he may be the one that'll make a move and try and catch that gaggle of 4 cars there, still being led by Tommy Archer.
Look at the gap that's closed down now between 1st and 2nd. We may have a challenge for the lead right now.
Archer still holds a very experienced and showroom stock car, so he knows what he's doing.
Well, Boris Said in 2nd place has closed in just a bit, but now in that last turn, that gap widened just a little bit more for Tommy Archer.
It really did. It's so close in this class of racing. We see Fangio now move back a little bit, but within a lap, he can easily be snapping at the heels of Boris Said.
There's a look at Doc Bundy out of the IMSA GTP category, and here's a spin now, and that is Mark Dismore in car number 33, the victor in the season opener at Dallas. Mark Dismore in trouble early in this competition.
That's in fact turn 1 that we saw Dismore spin. That was the one earlier on that we saw Tommy Archer get a little bit sideways. So it may be a little bit slick up there in turn 1. Here, in fact, we're going to see a replay, so we'll see exactly what did happen. Dismore, he's about to come into our shot right there now. He's out of control. Almost catches it, nudges the wall with that left rear corner. straightens himself up and gets on with the race.
Now back to the front of the pack, and a good battle now developing for second. That is Andy Pilgrim. Earlier this season had Brainerd. He is in third, but he closes in on Boris Said. Now a car length between second and third, and he closes even more to make a move on the inside. Has a look, but there's no room there.
The braking, he tried to get down the inside. There wasn't enough room, so he hung back a little bit. But he's now trying to work out where he can make that vital move under braking. And Fangio, who has lost a position, now back to fourth position, just sits and waits to see what happens.
Tommy Archer continues to lead, but the best battle right now is for second position. He tries another line down this little short straightaway, moves to the inside, and he may have him this time. Pilgrim on the inside, Boris in the outside, squeezes on by and makes a nice pass.
The perfect pass, really, because Boris Said had no comeback. Pilgrim had the line, forced the issue. Boris Said had to let him go. So now Pilgrim will chase for the lead.
Well, Fangio is about to have a look to the inside. He is battling for the third spot and makes a move, and he now has third.
Almost exactly the same type of pass. Boris Said now has gone from second position to fourth in 2 corners.
Now Fangio is up to third. He sets his sights on Andy Pilgrim. And Pilgrim still has a bit of a gap between his position and that of your leader, Tommy Archer.
The in-house fighting, as it was between these 3 white cars, has now let Tommy Archer just pull away a little bit. But I wouldn't think that will stay this way before too long, because Archer seems to be beginning to slide around a little bit. So now that they've all got a bit of clear road, I think we'll see it close up a little bit.
Oh, a hard shot. Mike Hughes hard to that inside wall.
Mike Hughes really did hit very, very hard. We saw the rear window pop open. So you can imagine the amount of flex of that chassis had when he hit that wall. Very, very hard indeed.
And the yellow flag out in that turn, but only in that turn. And look at this battle now developing with the lead. Andy Pilgrim has moved to the rear bumper of Tommy Archer. Archer, a man for all seasons. He races the race trucks, and during the winter months, he races on the ice. Out of Duluth, Minnesota, he leads, but he's being challenged right now for that #1 position.
Pilgrim did catch it quite quickly, almost within 1 lap. So Archer may have his work cut out for him to try and hold off Pilgrim, because Pilgrim definitely has a little speed advantage from what I can see here.
Both these guys have won already this season. Tommy Archer won at Sears Point. Andy Pilgrim won the last outing at Brainerd, Minnesota. But right now, they are about a car length apart. And Pilgrim is really dogging Archer, waiting now apparently for Archer just to make a slip.
If he makes a slip, Pilgrim will be through. Fangio waits in third position, and Boris Said now losing contact with the lead.
There's a move to the inside. We're going to have a change of positions right here as Pilgrim goes by, and Pilgrim now has the lead. Tommy Archer drops to second. So Andy Pilgrim now with a nice inside move, out braking Tommy Archer, and he now has the lead. Fangio is third. Fourth is Boris Said. Doc Bundy is fifth. As we take a look at the second 5, we'll come back for more of the action in the Meadowlands. Race number 6 of the Corvette Challenge. We're at the Meadowlands Sports Complex in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Andy Pilgrim now has to protect this lead that he's worked so hard all day to get. Tommy Archer still in second place, now chased by Fangio.
And there's Mark Dismore again, car number 33, the second time. He makes harder contact this time with a tire barrier there. But he is able to engage the clutch, drop it down a gear, and takes off.
That's right, now he's done the left side and the right side, so we've got a well-balanced car.
Well, Fangio has moved around Archer. He now has second place. Archer has dropped third.
Archer has slowly begun to drop back a little bit. I wonder if he's having any handling problems. He has a little bit of a different line through the tighter sections of this course. But however, Fangio is second. Now he sets off after Pilgrim.
Another car coming straight off the course, Mark Bam, and that is an escape route for that very purpose, but we have no indication of what may have happened.
I didn't see a brake lock up or any tire smoke, so I don't know. Maybe he just completely missed his braking point and decided it was safer just to go straight on rather than make the corner.
Now there's the doctor, Doc Bundy, number 80. Tom Kendall, the GTU champion, closes in right behind him.
He has his work cut out for him, as you always do when you start so far back with these Corvette races. Kendall is now up to 6th place, has fought so hard all day and is just now up to 6th place.
Well, after driving the GTP Corvette with all that horsepower, I have to think that Doc would like to have just a tad more than 270 horsepower these Vets are putting out.
He must think this very much a Sunday afternoon drive, but if he makes one little slip, he's about to lose this 5th position that I'm sure he's also working hard to maintain.
Now another problem here in the runoff area, Brad Murphy.
Well, it just shows how well used this runoff area is, so I'm glad it is there instead of a crash barrier, because now we've got 2 visitors up that escape road.
Battle continues between Doc Bundy and number 80 and Tom Kendall, number 10. Tom has a lot of experience in what you would call the saloon cars in your part of the world.
That's right, because we come back and watch Tommy Archer still maintain his 3rd place, but Boris said is again closing in. Archer may be in trouble because he just seems to be losing positions at a slow rate here as he comes up to lap one of the back markers with a black eye. In fact, that's Mike Hughes. We saw Mike hit the wall very, very hard earlier on. In fact, I'm surprised to see him still racing. But he does have that black eye, which is his lasting memory of the race over the Netherlands. He does move over, lets the leader through, which is what he should do when he's being lapped. But Archer still maintaining 3rd place.
And look at Kendall on the inside. He has a look, may be able to make the pass. This is for 5th position. Kendall inside, Doc Bundy outside. They are side by side. And how far around this track can they run like that? Right there's the answer. Hard left-hander. Tom Kendall makes a nice move to the inside, holds that line, and takes over 5th position. Doc Bundy drops to 6th.
It's really so hard to gain a position here. He started that move way back in turn 1, all the way down the back straight. He tried to continue it, and finally made it down to turn 2. So Kendall now still working hard, is up to 5th place.
Well, now maybe Doc was holding Tom up because Tom starts to pull away just a bit.
He does, he pulls away quite quickly. He now comes upon that back marker, Mike Hughes. So hopefully he can get by him as quickly as Archer did.
This series is allowing up to 50 cars per race on a tight race course. The guys who are starting from the back of the pack have to be mindful that you can lapping through them.
That's right, and if you start at the back, you have no realistic chance of ever winning one of these races. So you have to have your act together and your car well prepared as soon as you arrive at the racetrack.
And this really is a good arena to test your driving skills in heavy traffic.
It really is, and here's a good test of somebody's skills here. It looks as if Jim Vassar didn't have enough brakes, so he used number 32, Bobby Archer, as his final stopping point. Puts Archer into the wall, continues on his way. Bobby Archer, of course, the brother of Tommy, who's running in 3rd position at the moment.
Well, Andy Pilgrim continues to lead. There is the gap between 1st and 2nd. Very, very small.
Now, this could be interesting. Fangio has spent quite a few laps behind Pilgrim. What he'll try and do is work at a position where it will be safe to try and make an attempt to pass. Now, we know these cars are very evenly matched, so he may have his work cut out for him. But Fangio will give Pilgrim all the pressure he needs from here on in.
Fangio, as we said earlier, has won twice this year. Pilgrim won the last outing at Brainerd. And Fangio has a look to the inside. This is going into turn 2. Cannot make the pass. Tucks in behind Pilgrim into turn 2. Now the right-hander into turn 3. And Pilgrim maintains the lead. Fangio is 2nd. Archer is 3rd. More racing from the Meadowlands coming up. Stay with us. Corvette Challenge using identically prepared Corvettes, the big 5.7-liter V8, the aluminum head, top speed about 156 miles per hour with 270 horsepower, and they're all basically stock except for, well, there's a battle right here. We'll get back to that comment about them being stock.
That, in fact, is Fangio taking the lead on the end of the backstretch under braking from Andy Pilgrim. So Fangio now has control of this race. A very, very good move at the end of that backstretch under heavy braking.
I think the point we haven't made so far, Derek, is that the only thing that's not really stock on these cars would be like the roll cage, the fire extinguisher, the netting on the driver's side, the safety harness system. Otherwise, everything is stock off the showroom floor.
That's right, and of course that list that you just mentioned are the safety features that you must add to these cars to bring them up to what they call a racing specification.
Well, now your leaders are going into traffic. We have heavy traffic out in front.
Traffic is always a problem when you're the leader of the race. You always hope it to fall your way, but it's the worst position to be in, to be the leading car, because the back markers don't know you there often until you actually make the pass.
Well, of course, this is not an easy track to pass on. There's a look at Tom Kendall. He gets through traffic in that number 10. He now has pulled away from Doc Bundy. He has moved up another position, looking for perhaps a top 3 finisher this afternoon at the Meadowlands.
That's right. The next position he's looking for is that of Boris Said, who currently holds the 4th position. So Kendall still making ground here, still gaining on these 4 leading cars.
He may be the fastest car-driver combination right now on this racetrack, but he still has some ground to make up. Threatening skies overhead. No rain, though. The track is dry.
The track is dry. There's Mike Hughes. Black eye. We saw him hit the wall very, very hard earlier on. Here's Fangio.
Traffic in front of Fangio.
Still in the traffic. He does have a little bit of breathing space because second-place Pilgrim is not breathing down his neck at the moment. He does get a break, moves to the inside, so our leader Fangio still gets away with the traffic.
Now these drivers are being given the courtesy flag, the Wilbur flag, but many of them are challenging for a position. They don't like to back out of the throttle and let somebody else go by, including the leader.
Well, that's right. And of course, there are so many races going on, separate private races, that the leader has to be aware that the driver ahead of him, even though he may get the blue move over flag, he may not necessarily see it because he may be so busy racing his own race, be it for a 10th position or wherever it may be.
And back in the pack, a battle for position. This is Hayner in car 98. Oh, he gets together with Hacker. Paul Hacker on the outside, Stuart Hayner the inside. They exchange some paint and continue on.
Now we're back with our second place battle. In fact, Tommy Archer now looks to be trying to take second place from Andy Pilgrim.
Well, he makes a move to the inside. We saw a wave earlier from Pilgrim, so maybe there's something wrong with the white number 18. But that time Archer had no trouble going by.
That's right. Now we're back to Kendall. Kendall slides his way through turn 3, still trying to take that 4th place from Boris Said.
Said is right in front of Kendall. That's the gap between 4th and 5th.
Boris Said is driving just as hard as Kendall. You see him slide sideways out onto this front stretch, down through turn 6. Tom Kendall is snapping at his heels.
As part of the racetrack, as Kendall has a look to the inside, but it's a slight right-hander there. And Kendall now into a left-hand corner, has a look again at the inside, but cannot position his car in the spot he needs to be in to make the pass.
That's right. Boris Said is absolutely on the limit. We saw him brake very, very late. The rear end began to slide slightly, so Boris Said absolutely has his hands full trying to keep Kendall back.
Trying to outbrake him now to the inside. He has that car now in that position. He may have the pass made. Yes, he does.
Very good move. Boris Said did try to turn in, realized that Kendall already had that piece of road occupied, thought it was better to accept the loss of the position, and they continued to race.
We saw the brake lights go on. That was an indication he was out-braking and going in, driving in a little deeper.
Trying to go a little bit deeper, take the corner away from him. Gives Said no option but to give it up, give up the piece of road, and Kendall now has the position.
Has moved up one more spot in car number 10. He started in 6th position. He was the fastest qualifier for this event. There is your leader, Juan Manuel Fangio, going for a hat trick this season. He has won twice already, going for win number 3.
I said it earlier on, Fangio is one of the best kept secrets in American racing at the moment. A very, very talented driver from Argentina, but hasn't just got the major break that he hopes and waits for. I think he should get someday.
But he's a young driver. He has many, many very good years ahead of him.
He really has, but young drivers can be frustrated too. And I think you said that to him. I think he's very anxious to try and get a big break.
This is the last lap, and there is a battle for position as Tommy Archer tries to hold off Tom Kendall.
Archer uses all the road. In fact, he slides wide, heading for turn 6.
More road there was. And here comes the checkered flag for your winner. Juan Manuel Fangio picks up the hat trick, his 3rd victory this season, the battle for 2nd. And it is Tommy Archer holds off Kendall for 2nd position. Kendall finishes 3rd. There's your winner. We'll be back with more from the Meadowlands. Fangio is on a roll. He has won 3 of the last 4 events. Tommy Archer finishes 2nd. There's your top 5 with Kendall, Said, and Pilgrim. In the second 5, Doc Bundy finishes 6th, and it's Bill Cooper, Scott Lagasse, Stuart Hayner, and Paul Hacker. 11th was Bobby Archer. Actor Bobby Carradine was 12th, and there's the rest of the top 15. Your victors on the podium.
That's where every driver wants to be, the #1 position. Fangio occupies it at the moment. A successful day, flanked by Pilgrim and flanked by Archer.
On the strength of winning 3 of the last 4 outings, Fangio now has the points lead. Sean Hendricks drops to second. Stuart Painter, Mark Walikachuk, and Tommy Archer round out the top 5. The second 5, we have 2 past winners, Mark Dismore, Andy Pilgrim, then Bill Cooper, Peter Cunningham, and Jim Vassar. For our winner today, he led 12 of 50 laps. Fangio's average speed was 77.4 miles per hour. His margin of victory over Tommy Archer just under 3 seconds. We had 4 leaders and 3 lead changes. So Fangio, who is finding time to run both the ARS Series and the Corvette Challenge, is doing well in both. He has the points lead right now in the Corvette Challenge. So for Derek Daly, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. So long from the...
Listen to the heartbeat. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. It's the rhythm on the road. It's the pulse on the street. City and town, a magic sound. Feel the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. That's today, Chevrolet.
This is the first modern V8 we have seen from the American industry. Is this going to be a rebirth of the American V8? Are we going to have a fallout of, from this project into regular sedan production? Thank you.
The bulk of our V engines will be 6 cylinders, but there will be some exotic V8s, both in Dave's performance category as well as in the super luxury category. Very, very smooth engines.
Speedometer was in miles per hour. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see the ZR1 come back to where the first one was launched. It's rather exciting to have a machine like ZR1 introduced again in Geneva. A great deal of appreciation for automobiles over here. Automobiles that are not only good looking, but real machinery. I think the exciting thing is when we were first introducing the Corvette here, we literally built one from the tires and frame and chassis right on up through the body in front of the press's eyes. It took a team effort to really get that done. I think the exciting thing is to see the team at Chevrolet behind this car. You think about where the car has come from since 1984 and think about all the things that have gone into it, then to see this great engine come along and go into a production automobile still meeting all of our certification standards, fuel economy standards, pretty impressive. So I think Team Chevrolet has done a great job on this.
I'm so high I can't begin to tell you. This event is just outstanding. The Geneva show is just the primo show of the world, and someone said today, and I believe it was our president, it is truly a designer show. Truthfully, that's the good news. The ZR1, you know, God, it's just the aura of that whole thing. What fantastic news. Now, the bad news, ladies and gentlemen, this whole deal's on separate checks. And
terrific car. I think the performance is everything that we have expected it to be for this car. It's just sensational.
The big tires on the rear make a huge difference, and it really sticks. And that very tight, very nasty stuff is just splendid. It really hangs in there, and you can drive virtually as fast as you want to without getting out of your own lane. You never have to use the whole road. You never have to cut corners because it'll always track around nicely, staying in its lane.
That's an incredible automobile, and I think the excitement of it is that when you finally learn that there's life beyond 4,000 RPM, you can really get to enjoy the thing. It's wonderful. If that doesn't turn you on, you got to have ice blood in your veins. It's a wonderful, wonderful car.
Des voitures italiennes.
They thought they were Ferraris. From far away, they thought they were Italian cars. And he's very impressed.
I don't know where. I wish I could.
Now later on, we're going to have timed runs coming up this last half mile.
Right. Side by side.
For hurling kids. Oh.
This is quite a sight.
That can't count. I'm okay.
The most interesting thing to me is that with all this horsepower, in the very tight, very twisty stuff that we were in this morning, which was very heavy braking, very heavy acceleration, usually in second gear, you could get the brakes on absolutely as hard as you wanted to going into a corner, and then hard on the accelerator, accelerating out the other side, and you never had any feeling of instability or anything. It took all the acceleration and deceleration you could give it on very nasty roads, and it was beautiful.
It's the best thing I've ever had, both the drive and the car. The car's just fantastic, and some of the roads we're on, I don't know that I'd want to be in something else. It really was wonderful. The car's wonderful.
I can speak as the owner of an 87 Corvette, so I think I have a pretty good perspective. And this car is a quantum leap over my own car in terms of acceleration, handling, braking, any parameter you want to name.
And the course today had all the short curves, hard curves, plus the high-speed curves, which was fantastic. I've never seen a car put together as much as this car has between the handling and the horsepower, and unbelievable.
It's impressive. I think that it tended to display more wet traction than I expected.
It competes with every European sports car in the world. I mean, every European sports car built